Hi, my name is Mary. My group is excited to be back together, having a great time working on our project and talking about a very relevant issue in our world and in our lives too, recycling.
Cycling is very valuable, especially in college towns where there's a high influx of trash.
Hi, I'm Alex, and we feel that recycling is super important because it is one of the best ways for you to help our Earth's environment.
I'm Olivia. Our group is very happy to explain to you all the reasons why recycling should be more prevalent and the positive impact it would have on our Earth.
Hi, my name is Alex, and I'm going to be talking to you about the process of recycling. It is very important to recycle and to protect our wildlife and environment on Earth. Recycling can in turn reduce the amount of waste that is dumped into the oceans each year. According to EPA.gov, recycling is the process of collecting and processing materials that would otherwise be thrown away as trash and turning them into new products. Recycling can benefit your community and the environment. Recycling reduces the amount of waste sent to landfills, conserves natural resources such as timber, water, and minerals. It increases economic security. It prevents pollution, saves energy, and it helps create jobs in the recycling industry. You can recycle products such as paper, aluminum, plastic, steel, glass, and more. Some of the images here represent some items that can be recycled. According to theoceancleanup.com, there are over 5 trillion pieces of trash in our ocean right now. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, located between California and Hawaii, currently contains the most trash in our oceans. By just separating your recyclables from your trash each day, you can make a big impact on the world's cleanliness and ecosystems. In this graph, it shows the amount of plastic that has been recycled from 1960 to 2015. The amount of recycled has increased, but the amount of landfill has also increased. So the green represents how much has been recycled, and the gray represents how much landfill there is. Next, Mary will be explaining why recycling is so important. Thank you.
Hi, Mary here to talk about why you should be recycling. So, I'm going to be talking about your carbon footprint. And you might not know what your carbon footprint is, so I'm going to talk about the definition and explain that for you. Carbon footprint is defined as the number of greenhouse gases, primarily carbon dioxide, released into the atmosphere by a particular human activity. A carbon footprint can be a broad measure or applied to the actions of an individual, family, event, organization, or an entire country like the United States. So I have this little graph up here that I found online, and it's the share of the world's carbon footprint. The United States is in pink, which is second to only China. So we have a lot of work to do, obviously. Why does this matter? Why does our carbon footprint matter? Well, we're gonna die if we don't fix this, to be blunt. Here's a statistic. Recycling might be the most straightforward way to cut emissions. Recycling all plastic waste would reduce carbon dioxide equivalent emissions to 4.9 gigatons in 2050, or 25% less. If we reduce our emissions, we can fix the climate change issue in our world and many others. So, let's talk about the 5 R's. I know a lot of you probably only know 3, reduce, reuse, recycle, but there's actually 2 more, rot and refuse. You should look those up. Now I'm going to help you with a video, teach you how to recycle.
How many things do you think we can reuse again and again instead of throwing them away? Let's see. A piece of paper that has only one side printed on, a carton box, a plastic bottle. You think now. With just a little bit of imagination, I'm sure you can come up with many more exciting and fun new uses for them. And remember, if you apply the 3 R's rule, you will make me a much cleaner planet.
Very cute. Love the earth. All right, so that is my presentation, and I hope that it motivates you guys to start recycling. Now on to Olivia.
Hi, I'm Olivia, and I'll be talking to you about the effects of recycling and the negative impact it could have if we choose not to recycle. The information that I will be providing to you comes from Pew Research Center and Sciencing.com. What exactly can happen if we don't start recycling? There are 3 main things that could happen and are starting to happen in areas that are carefree when it comes to recycling. There is an increase in pollution. Our natural habitats are becoming destroyed and making it very hard for living things to stay alive and in good health. And our landfills are overflowing. Something that I found while doing research was that in 2013, recycling efforts prevented 87.2 million tons of waste from going into landfills. If we take that into consideration, imagine how little our landfills would be filled and how much ecological stress would decrease if we started to recycle. There are plenty other factors such as the amount of cars that people own and drive each day, creating tons of air pollution. As much as there are certain things that can limit air pollution, such as different forms of transportation, such as buses, trains, and bikes, there will always be a significant amount of pollution due to transportation, and this factor is not the easiest to control. However, recycling is a very simple way to create less pollution for the earth and make a big impact on society. Studies have shown that the mandatory recycling, such as San Diego and Seattle, have had significantly less air pollution compared to other major cities that do not enforce recycling as much. And as you can see in this visual aid, you can see that Seattle and San Diego both have very good air quality levels and on the lower spectrum. So now I'm going to show you a video.
If the world stopped recycling, every single scrap of waste would end up in a landfill. Well, most of it. With a larger amount of trash, it's inevitable that we'd get more in places where it shouldn't be. At first, you probably wouldn't notice anything. In a best case scenario, most landfills around the world expect to last 30 to 50 years. One of America's largest landfills began accepting garbage back in 1957 and finally stopped in 2013. That's 56 years of trash. It may take a couple of years, even decades, before garbage starts piling up everywhere. So what happens when those landfills finally fill up? When landfills become too full to take on any more garbage, they're covered with clay and soil to form large hills. You might think the job is done at that point, that you'll never need to think about that stinky garbage ever again. But sadly, that isn't the case. While the garbage is tightly packed underground, it remains in an oxygenless environment. There, it...
So, in the end, we as humans have a common goal, which is to be alive and well. With these attempts to start recycling, our goal could become much more attainable. Although, when we talk about saving our communities through recycling, we're not only emphasizing that it's important for land, there are numerous other factors.
Hi, I'm Ava, and I'm going to tell you about how you can help and why you should. Recycling is crucial to preserve the environment and all the wildlife living in it. Our oceans are extremely polluted right now, and unfortunately the animals living in it are suffering as a result of this. Did you know that over 50% of sea turtles have consumed plastic? More than 8 million tons of plastic are dumped into our oceans each year, which is equivalent to a whole dump truck load of garbage every single minute. The big problem with plastic is that it doesn't fully decompose. It just breaks down into tiny pieces called microplastic. There is currently more microplastic in the oceans than there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Obviously, this isn't a good thing, and we all need to come together to do anything we can and stop this extreme pollution. There are so many options for reducing, reusing, and recycling that have major benefits. Firstly, you can buy used clothing and other products to help reduce the amount of materials being harvested from the earth to make new products every single day. Buying in bulk is also a good idea. This reduces the amount of packaging used and wasted. Buying reusable products is also very helpful. For example, buying a reusable straw is a better alternative to using a plastic straw every time you need one. Recycling is easy too. Instead of throwing plastic and paper into the trash where it could end up in a landfill or the ocean, try separately recycling paper and plastic so that they will end up repurposed into products that other people will benefit from. There are plenty of curbside recycling facilities that help the environment by turning your trash into new environmentally friendly products. There are different ways to recycle different materials. Setting aside bins to separate out your garbage for recycling really helps. Paper, plastic, glass, metal, textiles, and many other materials can all be recycled in different ways. There's no need to throw everything away when it's so easy to make a more environmentally friendly decision. Reducing, reusing, and recycling have so many benefits on the environment population of not only animals, but humans as well. Among other things, recycling will save energy, reduce greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change, save money, reduce waste, and help prevent pollution. It also helps our economy a lot. Products that are manufactured using recycled materials are a lot less expensive because there is less need for new raw materials. Also, the recycling industry creates hundreds of thousands of jobs. For something like recycling that only takes seconds to do, the positive impact on both humans and the environment is huge. We all have to come together and do anything we can to help the environment and save the earth as much as possible before it's too late. Taking action is necessary if we want to keep living healthy lives. We must prioritize the earth to save all the wildlife living in the environment, as well as our future children and grandchildren. Plus, you'll feel better with the knowledge that you're helping to make a difference in the world during this crucial time.
I would be shocked if you didn't want to recycle now.
Recycling is one of the easiest ways that you can help our environment, most importantly, our oceans and wildlife.
You can do this.
Thank you for listening, and hopefully you can start finding easy ways to help out.
Bye.
Bye.